This is a 2FIDDY that I built to spec according to Ummagawd, aka Tommy Tibaja Galing Galing. And this thing really made me question everything. Well, at least everything that I know about FPV in general. What's going on, everybody? Haven't done one of these in a while. I've been busy, but no excuses. Let's get right into it. I've been flying this 2FIDDY right here for the past couple of weeks. I've been testing it, crashing it, breaking it, repairing it, and to be honest with you, this was an impulse buy. Okay, I was picking up stuff from Ben and I knew nothing about the 2FIDDY project at all and what it stood for. I was just collecting frames, just as projects to work on in the future. Hey, I like building quads. I knew nothing about this 2FIDDY project and the goal of a sub 250 gram quad that could freestyle well, but the more I watched and the more I was subsequently consumed by the process that Tommy put into this project, I found myself more and more excited to build my own. Right, so onto the interwebs I go, add everything to cart, check out, I bought the rest of the parts, and then I waited. And waited. And waited some more. Goddamn chip shortage. I really took my time putting this together, waiting for the parts that were out of stock everywhere, to actually finding the time to put together the quad, or either that I was saving it for a really shitty day at work where I needed to stop my gears from spinning and just build. Hey, I like building quads as therapy. It's just as expensive, but at least I have something to fly at the end of it, instead of just an empty wallet. Well, I also have an empty wallet at the end of it, but... So to break down the parts that I use at the build, the 2FIDDY frame kit, of course, the iFlight BEAST A7, 45 amps, 2004 motors by Ummagawd, Caddx Vista with a DJI cam. I subsequently swapped this later with a Nebula Pro instead, and also finally the Crossfire Nano receiver. However, I could not get this under 250 grams, probably because the battery I was using was a 650 milliamp hour 4S by Tattu Rline, which was 69 grams, right? Because of that, I had to slap on the CAS sticker, the FC&ESC sticker. I think if I had used a 450 or maybe a 500, I would have gotten it under 250. Like really cutting it real close, right? That's why I also swapped out the camera for the Nebula Pro instead of the DJI cam, just to save that little bit of extra weight, right? So for the maiden, I could not ask for a more perfect day. It was a beautiful day, sun was sunny, with a bit of overcast, and I had such a great time with it. This thing rips. The combination of the powerful motors, right, powerful motors and its lightweight, right, just makes this thing so fun to fly. I find myself taking riskier and riskier moves, right, because I had the confidence that this thing could stop on a dime, or if I'm upside down, I could turn around and catch myself because it's so light, right? Every little bit of throttle is just gonna like stop it from falling from the sky. And like, this was so good. I had so much fun. Until this happened. It looked like a pretty soft landing, right? I landed in grass and mud, but this is what it looks like. On the first day, on the maiden flight, I broke an arm. Now this concerned me because Tommy did a lot of crash testing against metal poles, against trees. Maybe he didn't test it against crashing to mud. But that's the thing, it's like, I really questioned the durability of this thing because it seemed like a soft landing, but it looks like it caught itself in the mud, and the full force of the quad acted as a fulcrum on this joint, and it just broke the arm. Now, the arm replacement was easy. It was just like, I think 2 bolts and then you just swap in the arm and it's done. And I know I bought this frame from Ben. It was kind of secondhand. I mean, but he didn't put it together and he didn't fly it. But it's not like Ben is out there testing the durability of this frame against his black noise frames. However, fair warning. The screws that come with the 2FIDDY are soft aluminum screws, and I'm sure they put it in there to save weight. The problem is that they are soft, and then if you over tighten them, they strip. So no amount of Loctite is going to help you either, because the thing just, you can't really screw it in tight enough. I really like the screws, right? The gold aesthetic looks super nice. The only issue is that the more I flew this thing, the more I came back with missing screws. Like, I'll be missing screws here in the front or in the back, the ones that are especially not tight. And the issue is I come back with loose arms as well. So what I actually had to do is I had to swap out the aluminum screws with steel screws just to make sure that they're tight enough, and also longer as well. I think it would have helped if the screws were longer, because the screws are actually just enough to eat into the frame or eat into the standoff. I know some of you might say it's like, just put Loctite on everything. Well, the problem is there are some places that you don't want to put Loctite, which is the plate that you want to remove when you want to do maintenance. And here's another thing about the frame that I kind of don't like, is that you need to remove the camera plate in order to get to the main body. So you need to remove the camera plate first, then so all of these things you need to go. Now comparing it to the Vanguard and also the QAVS, you don't have to remove the camera plate in the front in order to get to the main body. To be honest, it's like this is a minor inconvenience, because the fact of the matter is this thing is really, really fun to fly, right? Which brings me to the two things that I really, really love about this frame. It rips. Number one, of course, is like this thing is fast as hell. Yeah, I think you should probably not call it a freestyle frame. This is a racing quad. It can be a racing quad. It's lightweight, it has powerful motors, and it can zip through turns. And because it's also very lightweight, you can catch yourself and correct, and it turns on a dime, right? You can correct this trajectory and this momentum very, very quickly, either when you're falling or you're turning or you're going backwards, inverted yaw spins, etc. So I really, really enjoy this thing. It makes it really, really fun to fly. The second thing that I really like about this frame, the benefits of having the small weight and the light form factor, means that the total weight that I carry out to the field when I want to go fly is much, much less. And being an old fart like me, it's like I have back issues, right? Trying to carry a huge backpack with all my batteries and everything, and then going out into the field. And this thing helps, right? The batteries are smaller, the quad is smaller, the tools, the props, everything is lighter. If you just like going out to fly, this can be a really, really lightweight pack you can bring out to just go have fun, right? Just fly around, right? I could fit this in a fanny pack if I wanted to, really. The things that I do not like about this quad, I mentioned it before, the gold screws, right? The gold screws, the M2 aluminum screws are soft and they strip easily. And in order for the long-term durability of this to be maintained, I think I have to swap it out for steel screws, so I've already swapped it out for steel screws. The next thing, there is no HD camera, and the only HD cameras that you could possibly put on this would probably be an Insta360 Go 1 or 2, or the Peanut that came out, or a Hero Session, just so that you can get that 24 frames per second juicy goodness. But if you add a camera on this, then it's definitely not going to be in the 250 gram weight limit, unless there's some way you can save like 27 grams, and yeah, I guess you could get it under 250 grams. Because you can only record DVR, well, the DVR, it has limits, right? You cannot set the frame rate. I don't have ND filters to add on this thing. Maybe you could, add an ND filter just to make sure that you slow the shutter speed down so that it makes it look better. Because the thing about freestyle and freestyle videos that you see, the shutter speed actually does make a difference, right? The slower shutter speed actually does make a difference, and it makes it look a bit more cinematic. It looks nice, right? 24 frames per second. So you want to have the HD camera, but you just like flying, then this point is completely moot, right? The final thing why I don't like this quad is that it makes all my other quads feel very, very underpowered. All my full-size 5-inch quads makes it feel very, very underpowered. Like for example, I struggle to do a flat bounce rewind with my, let's say, Vanguard, because it's so heavy and I'm trying to like catch it as it lands to the ground. And I could just do that flat bounce rewind move all day on this and still have 3.8 volts when I return. The overpowered motors compared to its lightweight just makes it fly better than anything else that I have in my arsenal. Now, it's strange because you want a little bit of weight on your 5-inch quad so that you have something to throw around, but this thing doesn't feel so floaty. It just feels like it can go anywhere you want it to go, right? Maybe a little bit too well because it doesn't fall very like I'll do inverted yaw spin, and then I'll be turning, and I'm just there in the air forever and ever and not falling at all. This thing has made me rethink everything, right, about flying lighter quads. Do I want to continue flying a heavy quad like the Vanguard or the QAVS? Do I want to move up to 6S because my motors are underpowered? Do I want to change everything? Do I need bigger motors? Do I need to upgrade? So many questions are just constantly spinning in my head because of this damn bugger. And I have no answers for that. And this is the thing why I probably hate this quad so much, or dislike this quad, is because this thing just makes you think about like, what do I want in my squadron? what do I want? What do I want in flying FPV? Do I just want to go out, have fun, carry lightweight, rip a freestyle, don't care about, you know, cinematic 24 FPS or whatever? Do I want to fly a heavy quad? Yeah, so many questions. And I don't have answers, and that kind of grinds my gears a little bit. In summary, so the question at the end of the day is that, should you buy this, right? Is this something for you? This could be a great addition to your squadron for sure, but it's not really for beginners, because in short, this quad is the durability of this quad is probably not as great, right? If you crash, you might break an arm. And in the limited time I had with this, I've already had so many issues with arms breaking, screws going missing, props breaking off. Probably not the best thing for a beginner. But if you're willing to put up with the durability issues and also the possibility of you not coming back with all your screws, then sure, I think this is a great addition, right? I never had a quad fly this good since I had my Vanguard. The lightweight and power to ratio makes it quite a ripper. It's a type of quad that I'll take out on a, you know, just a nice quick rip, you know, not something that I want to go post on Instagram or post on YouTube. Just go and fly and enjoy flying. And lastly, if you're thinking about reducing the amount of weight that you need to carry out into the field, then I highly recommend it. Right, the pack loadout is lighter. You can bring 2 of these for the weight of one of my 5-inch quads. Lighter batteries, lighter everything. Right, and you can fit it into a lighter backpack, and nobody's going to question you about you flying this, because it is whisper quiet. It is so silent, right? Nobody's gonna come in. No Karen's gonna come up to you and be like, "Wow, what's this? So noisy!" Blah blah blah. It's just like, it's like a butterfly. If those things suit you, right? You like the lightweight. You don't care about cinematic. You don't care about like flying it with a HD camera, and you don't mind changing arms and changing screws as you go along, then I think this is a great quad to have, and I highly recommend it. You should try it. It's really, really, really fun to fly. Well, thank you everyone. Right, thank you everyone if you got this far in the video. I really do enjoy making these kind of videos, but it can be time consuming, so I do appreciate it if each and every one of you have gotten this far into the video. It has been quite a ride. I've only been doing this for 4 months. Thanks for coming along with me on my FPV journey. This has been great. I'm Lionel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.